Hey guys, and welcome to episode 157 of Meeple to Meeple. Today, we are going to talk about real games relatable to family life. My guest today is all about humor, chaos, connection over perfection. Her content talks about play, presence, and togetherness. She represents how the everyday gamer can connect and bond over the table with family, with friends, and with the furry children that she takes care of. She is a parent of both human kids and furry ones. And apparently she has a lot of guinea pigs. She is the mother of guinea pigs. It is Meg, the guinea pig mom. Meg, how are you?
I never know what the intro might be, but what a fun way to be described and encapsulated. I really appreciate those words. That's very sweet.
I mean, it's pretty accurate, right?
I do have one adult daughter, and I have four guinea pigs.
Four.
One boy and three girls. The boy is neutered, so there's no more on the way. But yes, that's true. And it's
I love
true.
that.
I love connecting with my family,
Yeah.
with our friends, and with friends on the internet.
Right?
So many guests have mentioned just the community that comes from playing board games is so precious. So precious.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you there. That's why I do this, right? And why I continue this podcast is to connect, right? I mean, that's been the subtitle of this from the very inception of the podcast is uniting players around the world. You know, we try to do that. I try to do that in any way I possibly can, right? So,
I think
yeah.
you're doing a great job at that.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, I apologize, everyone. I've been fighting a cold, so I sound husky. I apologize, but that's what's happening here.
With that deep Tom Waits voice.
Oh man, don't I wish? Don't I wish? So Meg, I wanted to start with. Let me ask you this: you've been creating content for some time now. What was the very first board game you ever played as a kid?
Oh gosh, I was sort of expecting this, but then I think I forgot it. The first one that I remember as being particularly special was Rummy Cube. It was something that the adults would play at my grandparents' house when we would go visit. And if we were good and behaving and got ready for bed really fast, we could sit in someone's lap and help them play until it was bedtime. So it's sort of one of like the foundational games I sort of remember. But we did have the slew of Milton Bradley in the house, the Sorries and the Troubles. I can hear the pop-o-matic noise in my head. We did have a Mousetrap and some other Monopoly, just a bunch of them. The Grail game that I thought I always wanted and never got was Life. I never had the game of Life growing up. I didn't get to play that until high school. And then no one wanted to play that, really wanted to play that with me. And I was like, I guess it's not great then.
I think I had Jackie Fox, the designer of Rock Hard 1977. And she talked about the game of life and what it taught her. And it's really funny. And I recommend you guys go listen to that interview because it's just hilarious. It was more about what she learned not to do in her life versus what to do, right? So, yeah.
It's great.
But I remember playing Life as well. I had that one as a kid. So, hey, let me ask you, Monopoly. Do you share the vitriolic hatred that many gamers hold about Monopoly personally?
I don't really hold on to vitriol for any game, I guess. I think that I know that Monopoly is not for me. I have played it. I played it many times as a child. I understand how house rules kind of disrupt the intention of the game. I think Monopoly Deal is a better game. And if someone said, let's play Monopoly, I would pull Monopoly Deal off the shelf and be like, let's try this one. It has that same sort of accessibility of people who are more familiar with Monopoly, but just has more of a, I think, fun card play to it. But if someone wants to love Monopoly, and there's so many themes out there, there's so many IPs that Monopoly has used. And if you really love an IP, so many. But if you really love an IP and you get to get that nostalgia from it through playing Monopoly, and that brings you joy and connects you to people at a table, I don't know, have at it.
Right. Right. I agree. I think it's interesting. This conversation was a few years ago now, but the thing about Monopoly, and it's not for me either. I don't like it for the same reason most gamers don't like it. But the reality is that the designer's intent was to teach you about capitalism and all the pitfalls of capitalism through this game. I
Your
think,
takeaway is supposed to be this,
right, exactly.
which is maybe why I don't want to play it. Like,
Sure.
we know it sucks. We're
Yep.
there.
Yeah. I think it has that. I think it has value, right? I think Monopoly as an idea, it has the value, and I wouldn't want to. If I had children, I would probably play Monopoly with my kids, right? I think it's a good life lesson. We talk about how games can teach team building and understanding rules and social behavior, and we talk about all these things all the time, and
Yeah.
yet gamers hold this view of Monopoly, and I'm like, well, I mean, what about that, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm resisting the impulse to just yell upstairs and be like, hey, kiddo, did we ever play Monopoly with you? I can't remember, actually, if we ever did.
that's because you knew I was about to ask you. So did you teach your child Monopoly?
I don't think so. I think one of her first games is probably Takanoko.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a good one.
But I think, which technically has that kind of, is it roll and move? No, I think it's just action. You just select which of the 3 actions you want to do, right? It's
Right.
been a while.
Yeah, that's great. You roll the dice, and
You
then
do roll.
it determines. You have that one die, and it determines
What you get to.
whether you get an extra action, whether you can take the same action twice, or things of that nature. Yeah,
So it's sort of a roll and move ish.
ish. I mean, if you're gonna move the panda or the gardener, then yeah, it's a roll and move.
That's true. See?
It's a roll, move, and eat, or a roll, move, and plant. Plant. I mean,
Harvest.
yeah. I mean, you make the bamboo grow.
You make it grow, or you like pieces to feed, right? I don't know.
Yeah, but it also introduces some interesting colors.
Mm-hmm.
You have the pink, the yellow, and the green bamboo.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question. Do you have a favorite player color?
I was ready for this one. I really don't technically have a
Okay.
favorite color. I'll play anything. I'm more of a what do you guys want to play? I'll take what's left kind of person. However, I have over the years more consistently played red than anything else. Mostly
Okay.
because when my partner and I play games, when we pull out a game, 2 of the colors that will contrast the most with most boards and games are red and yellow. So I tend to play red. He tends to play yellow.
Okay.
But in a sea of colors, I'd pick teal every time.
Okay. Teal. Man, that is really precise. I want teal. Okay.
Very few games, but there are some that have teal as an option. Yeah. That one's my favorite.
So it sounds like if they don't make it, MeepleSource needs to make like a bag of components in the color teal, so that you could so that could be that would be your travel pack wherever you go, whatever game we're playing.
I'll just bring my Weird Giraffe games.
Weird Giraffe games.
They did the cats, and now they have the dragons for player pieces. I do have the bag of dragons.
See, so you could play teal no matter what. I think about that because I like to play purple, but not every game has purple. Yep. And then it's really weird when I meet someone else who's like, purple's my color. And I'm like, ooh. Okay,
you're like, now what?
I guess I'm going to play black or gray or red or whatever.
It's true.
Yeah.
I play our Wednesday night game. There's someone who has to have the red pieces. So I never get to be red on Wednesday nights, even if I'm used to it. So,
okay.
And then there's strong opinions about player colors in my Friday night group too. So whatever's left, y'all fight it out and let me know what's left.
It's a really interesting hill to die on, I notice with gamers, right?
It is.
I mean, like, I'm really I have to play purple unless I can't, like, I will defer. Oh, do you want purple? Here, you can play purple and
You're
I'll
thinking about it from like an AP standpoint or something like that. If you have a consistency of player color, that would be one less thing for your brain to be processing as you're looking at a board, like because it would already have the pattern of I know purple is mine. So
right.
I can see that reducing AP if you are consistent
Oh,
colors.
yeah,
I can see why
absolutely.
people do have those
Sure.
strong feelings about it.
I, um I need to find, a specialist who deals with visual impairments. Because
Yeah,
I really want to do an episode and talk about not just color blindness, but obviously color blindness, but visual impairments and how board games both execute well to accommodate people with visual impairments and where they can do better. I don't feel like I'm qualified to talk about it without a specialist who
someone
can,
who is in line.
because I don't suffer from that. So, like I said, if I'm not purple, I'll take the next color, and so I've got whatever.
Right, right.
But I understand the need for, accommodating
Someone
all
to
that.
take something they can see.
Accessibility was the word I was looking for, to make it accessible,
Yeah,
to people with visual impairments.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I do think
So,
that's why you're seeing more of like the teals or like some extremely off colors are becoming more of a pattern for game pieces, I believe, because of being colorblind friendly. That's the other oddity in my sphere is I don't think color blindness is a high percentage of the population, but it is 100% present in every game group I play with. So
right.
Wednesday night, we have a person who's colorblind. Friday night, we have a person who's colorblind. The folks we see every other Saturday, one of them's colorblind. Like, so, I never get to play Sagrada, which kind of sucks. But yes, the first thing we ask is to that person, which of these colors can you see easiest? And they
Right.
choose first.
Right.
And I really appreciate games like Sea Salt and Paper. And I'm not sure if it's Pandasaurus in general. I think that's the right company.
It
Trying to see
is.
the box from here. Okay. Has the like the color coding, like the very explicit symbols for each color,
I
and they
think
make
so.
sense. Like the symbol for orange combines the symbol for red and yellow, which I
Right.
think is really cool. So yeah,
I
neat
think
stuff.
the very first game where I came in contact with the design of the game was made accessible for color blindness was Alhambra from
Yes.
Queen Games, and Queen Games has done a really great job. So I watched the episode of Tabletop by Will Wheaton many, many years ago. They played Alhambra. Incidentally, that was a game that was really connective. Like, I showed that episode to my wife, and she's like, "We absolutely must get this game." And so when we got the game, rather than having the names of the structures on the tiles, it had like the a certain number of diamonds or
Yeah.
design.
Yeah, it's like a pattern.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
pattern so that people with color blindness could see
Could
that.
still match the
Yeah,
pattern. Yep.
I thought that was really interesting. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
I
That's
love that
cool.
too. I love
So
seeing
yeah, I want to talk more about this with a
yeah,
specialist.
you
So
need a
if anyone
specialist. I have no degree in this whatsoever. Just
Right. If anyone knows anyone, please send them my way. You could find me on all the socials at Meeple and Meeple and Meeple to Meeple at gmail.com. So please, I would love to hear from you. How about, do you have a favorite game mechanic?
I have a couple.
Oh, okay.
I'm fond of saying I've never met a Rondel I didn't fall in love with. I really
Sure.
do love the dynamic that that can create in terms of like how far do I want to push things or how many spaces do I really want to move or line up or I love that mechanic in a game. A bit unrelated to that, or at least I'm not sure that I've ever seen them combined in any particular way. I love layering. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but I love when you can play cards on cards for some reason, whether you're
Okay.
turning them or making different patterns. So I super love card layering or even like far shuffle, right? Where you're like tucking or
Okay.
I like that dynamic. I think there's something spatial about it that I really love. And
That's
then my
interesting.
latest favorite is anything that builds up. I just love when you're playing a board game and you're literally building something up by doing it.
Sure.
So those are kind of my top three anyway.
So it sounds like tile placement is.
Yes, yeah, tile placement gets involved a lot.
So we've got number 9. We've got Acropolis.
Yes, Acropolis is one of my favorites.
There's a new one. There's a new one where you stack tiles. What am I thinking of?
I'm not sure, but Dragonarium is the one that kickstarted recently that I feel so grateful that I did get a review copy for that, and I have just played the heck out of it. Just really like everything about those mechanics just sings to me. I love it.
Yeah.
And the dragon theme and like I don't know, everything's great. So I really love that one a lot.
I had the founder and the chief communications officer from that company on the show months ago. That was interesting because the timing of the recording of that episode was like 2 days after there was like a super typhoon that hit Taiwan.
Oh, geez, yeah.
So yeah, but it was really interesting because my wife saw Dragonarium, was really interested. So we went to their booth at Gen Con and talked to them. I was like, I'd love to have y'all on, and they were both really gracious. And we
Everyone I've
talked.
talked to
Yeah.
there has just been phenomenal and sweet, and they like my guinea pigs. So I love them very much.
Well, I mean, that's what you're known for, right? Being, I mean, it's in your username is that you're the guinea pig mom. So, and we're gonna get to that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it. Do you have a favorite all-time board game?
You know, I used to have an answer to that. And if you don't mind, I'm going to tell you why I have an answer to that.
No, go ahead.
In like 2016 or 2017, somewhere in that range, we went to a board game convention in Canada.
Okay.
So we drove across, and I'm trying to even think of the city that it was in, but I'm drawing a blank. I'm hoping my husband hears me from the kitchen. What is it? Hamilton, the Hammer. We went to the Hammer in Canada, and it was great. We had a great time. But crossing the border, the guard, the border guard asked. I was in a van full of people, so
Okay.
packed van full of 8 people in this large travel van, and I'm in the very back seat. And the border guard asks, "Where are you going?" And we say, "We're going to a convention." And they're like, "What's the convention for?" And the driver says, "Board games. We're going to go play board games." And the border guard is very suspect at this point. And like, it's like, "Well, what's your favorite board game?" So I have T minus, 7 people to like get in my head what's my favorite game. And the one my brain picked was Trajan. So Trajan was for a long time my favorite game. Right up there with Race for the Galaxy is probably the game that I played kind of the most. So I really loved those 2 games for a really long time. And I still love them. But I've played so many good games under so many different circumstances with different people. And it's really hard to parse out now what one favorite could be. Like, I don't know, what mood am I in? How tired am I? How many people are around?
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, okay, so that's why I have this question for you, because I have compassion for you, and I love you dearly. Do you have a
Right now? Yeah, right now it's Dragonarium. I am just playing the heck out of it. I love the theme. I love building up. I love the pattern kind of building, and you're kind of figuring out how to maximize your points and maximize the movement of the crystals you're getting by the areas that you're making on your board. And it just really sings to me. So I'm just really enjoying the heck out of that right now.
Yeah, I like that. Dragonarium. That's great. I still haven't had a chance to play it. So I'm really looking forward to that coming out.
The company has a lot of good ones. Last Lantern was a real surprise in terms of like, it's a cooperative game like I've never played before. It was very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. They have some gems for sure.
Yeah. So I'm curious about at what point, because I've asked almost everyone this. So at some point you transition, and this is more about your personal identity, right? You transition from just being a gamer to, or a gamer who's taking some pictures to share with the world and becoming a content creator. And I think for sure the intentionality is what separates you from being a content creator and just being a gamer who posts pictures, right?
Yeah.
So, do you remember at what point did that happen for you? Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I do. So it actually starts with the guinea pigs. So
Okay.
I think maybe early pandemic or maybe just a little pre-pandemic. I we've had guinea pigs since 2012 continuously. I've had some number here, and I would essentially be spamming at the time a Facebook feed with pictures of them anyway. But no one there wanted to see any of that. None of my friends or family cared that I had guinea pigs. I really enjoyed taking fun pictures of them, and so I sort of discovered Instagram and was like, well, I can just take pictures and share them here. This is great. And there's a beautiful parallel between how amazing the board game community is and how amazing the guinea pig community is. And so through that, just posting random photos of guinea pigs, I end up connecting with people all over the world who also have guinea pigs and love guinea pigs, um, and just made some really special friendships over the years doing that. But at one point I was feeling a little burnt out about it. Like I was losing inspiration for just taking a photo of a guinea pig. They only do so much. I was just sort of losing inspiration. And much like the board game community, the guinea pig community does have these like photo events. And so there was some kind of springtime photo event. And I was kind of down about it because all of the themes for the week were garden. Like you had to have a garden, you had to have flowers. And I live in a condo where we're not really allowed to do anything outside. And the one time I tried, they weed whacked all the flowers I planted. So I'm not
No.
interested in outside. I'm still an inside kid with the board games. Uh, so I'm kind of down about it. And I pulled garden. Shoot. Yeah, I pulled an Uve off the shelf.
Sure.
And this had flower and it had flowers in it. I was like, I'm just doing this. And honestly, it was so much fun. So much fun setting up this board game with Little Moon to taking there are orange pieces in the game. So I like making a little piece of carrot look like she's holding one of the pieces in her mouth. Like I had so much fun with that. So I was sort of inspired to continue doing that. And so for the rest of the event, I just found different board games to pair with the guinea pigs. And then, yeah, I guess it was suddenly such a source of like self amusement.
Right. Right.
Like, I need you to know I get a huge kick out of this myself. And just getting to share that with people and finding out that, like, oh, wow, there are literally other people on this planet. What were the odds that even care about this?
Sure.
So yeah, so I think that was the real shift into board games. And with the perspective of that at that point, because this was only a couple years ago now, I had already been playing board games for, upwards of 15 years. We already had the collection. None of it was, and I'd had guinea pigs for a long time, right? So none of this was new, but it was a new way to sort of express that passion and that love and find that connection just kind of throughout the world, which is still staggering to me.
I love that. That is so great. I want to talk about guinea pigs for a minute. So
Okay.
I don't know a lot about guinea
Okay.
pigs, right? We are cat owners, right?
Yeah.
I understand. So that's my frame of reference.
Sure, you have cats. Yeah.
And there's a reason why they say, when you have a difficult task, it's like herding cats. Okay. And then I'm looking at right now a picture that you posted. You've got your 4 guinea pigs on the table on what looks like an IKEA bath mat on the
Yes.
table.
They're very handy.
And they're wearing cute little hats.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them's wearing a fez, and they're just like it's on the table in front of your board games. So are they easy to see? Look at that. And
It's right here
so
next to me.
trying to put headgear of any kind on our cats, yeah, is problematic at
For sure.
best.
I think that's I've never actually owned a cat. We grew up with dogs and birds
Okay.
and reptiles and guinea pigs, but I never owned a cat. But that is more of my experience of them is that dogs you can kind of train, some animals you can train and teach, and cats just don't seem to be one of them. largely, I'm sure there are exceptions. There's always an exception, but largely a cat is who they are, and that's what you get.
Yes, absolutely. There's no doubt. So the guinea pigs are, it seems like they're pretty well behaved. They let you just dress them up and they'll just
Except
sit
for
there.
Peanut. Yeah.
Okay. Because to get all four of them in the picture that I'm looking at, they're all like side by side. And I'm like, man, I can't get my two cats to sit side by side unless they choose to do so.
Peachy, this is what we like to call internet magic. No. So what you maybe can't see or can't tell from the image is there is a line of treats in front of them.
Oh.
And I had a second set of hands for that photo. So my partner is normally not very far behind the camera with me and helping me to like squish them back together. And when the hat falls off, you put it back on. And like it can take 50 takes to like get that one shot. Okay, they're all sort of ish looking. They all have hats on. Got it. But it takes it does take patience. And they all have very different personalities too. I think that's something to sort of understand about guinea pigs is their personalities are larger than their bodies can contain by leaps and bounds. And Little Moon will just sit there. Moonshadow, the black, mostly black one, I think she has like a tan nose. Moonshadow will just sit there. She's like, if you're feeding me, I'm fine. Do whatever.
Yeah.
Birdie is suspect. He's like, I'm pretty sure you're going to eat me, but as long as you're feeding me, it's fine. But he's normally like suspect about it. Maple is starving at all times and needs the treats and like just needs, as long as she's eating something, she will allow most anything.
I love it.
Gets bored after like 30 seconds. So for her, I have to set things up really fast and like go really fast and have a second set of hands for when she decides, nope, I'm done. I'm off the table. And you're like, Peanut. One of my favorite shots is just her leg sticking out as she's sort of running towards my daughter at the time who was ready to pick her up. Yeah, so there's some behind the scenes chaos involved.
I love that. Yes, that is so great. That is so amazing. You've done such amazing work, and you've been a huge influencer in the community. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, if you don't know, she's approaching 8,000 followers on Instagram. I know we're not supposed to count all that, but I mean, that's okay. And maybe there's bots in there. We all have them, but that's still a big number.
It does seem crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In the industry, in the board game industry, I do think that it does feel like I feel unworthy of that number, frankly. But I think in other spheres, like in terms of guinea pigs accounts, mine's very small.
Yeah.
So like there is kind of a perspective of, depending on what industry you're in, how big those numbers feel.
Sure.
The second I passed 100, I was like, I don't know how this is happening. That I've just been staggered since I didn't even know 100 people that could like this could exist on the planet.
Yeah.
Anything beyond that is like, wow, I'm so glad you're all here.
It's really interesting because all the online communities, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, right? So everyone keeps telling me that they're different audiences. It's not like, but then there's all this pressure. You need to have an account. Your podcast has to have an account in each one, and I do. But Instagram is the primary. Obviously, YouTube, since we went to recording video. But I'm struggling to get to 2,000 followers on Instagram. I continually tell our content creator friends who are in your numbers and more, and I'm like, no, guys, I'm really small. Like, no. I'm like,
no, I know who you are.
It's like, do you not look at my numbers? Do you just assume that I'm not at 10,000 like you are? Calm down. You're hot stuff.
You should be. I don't know. That's weird.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not willing to. I've said this before. I don't identify as a content creator.
Yes, yeah.
I don't. Yes, I am making content and putting it out there. I identify as a podcaster, and that's a whole different community as well.
Yeah.
The one thing that I hear, the feedback that I get all the time whenever I introduce myself and my podcast to someone, you hear this constantly. Oh, I don't listen to podcasts. And I'm like, but there's over 5,000 board game podcasts.
Interesting, yeah.
So someone must be listening to them, right?
Hypothetically.
So yeah, it's a weird content creation is super, super weird, right?
It's true. It's such a weird thing to sort of like step back and think about that, like, you know, and you were talking about the multiple platforms too, that like we as humans really do sort of reach out for that connection in multiple vectors. And some of them are more successful for some people than others. And I think that's largely due to an algorithm that none of us have control over and has more to do with, we were mentioning capitalism, a company that is striving to make money. um yeah, I don't know,
Yeah,
it's complicated.
it is. It's so complicated. So this is a great segue into my next question. If you had a friend or someone, whether a friend in real life or a friend on in the virtual world, they wanted to begin to make content, right? They wanted to be a content creator for board games.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
Gosh, I'm cheating a little bit here because my day job is marketing, not
Okay.
anything like what we do, a very different kind of professional services marketing, a very niche thing. But I think about when I make proposals for work, we have to know who we're proposing to, what's most valuable to them, and how what we're giving them fits their need. And so, my advice to content creators is know who your audience is, or at least know who you want your audience to be and what you bring to value to them, or at least try and have that in mind. But as a secondary recommendation, do this because you're having fun. Don't do this for, yes, do this because you're enjoying yourself. Do
Yeah.
this because it brings you joy. Don't do this because you think you might get something out of it or you expect Meta to send you some check every week or something crazy. Like, just do it because you're having fun. And I do think that if you're having a good time, that does resonate with people. And also, if you're not having a good time, don't do it. Life is short. Do something else then. I don't know. Those are my two big. Know your audience, aim for your audience if you have one, or at least I think about like I do what makes me laugh or makes me smile and hope that that brings those smiles and that laughter to other people, or presume that it at least does for a few folks, and that's it. That's great, goal accomplished. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what you're after, I guess, maybe too.
Yeah, absolutely. That is some of the best advice I think you could give anybody. I have skipped past the first part of your advice and jumped to the second. I I just do this because I love talking to people.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is it.
that's great.
I got a series of text messages yesterday from a game designer who's been on the show before, and they were like, "Hey, we just listened to your last episode with Dana last week," and she's like, "I'm so sorry you were in the hospital. I had no idea. This was the first time." And so, yeah, she's like, "I know that you get energy from the podcast, so keep doing it because like it helps me, helps my recovery." And so, yeah, I just love doing it, and it makes me feel good. I hope that it makes it obviously makes someone feel good because y'all are listening.
Listening, watching, yes,
Yeah,
yeah, and yeah, if it's that's the thing, is it has to fill you up. And I do see some people on occasion be like, this is burning me out. I need to step back. And like, absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. Don't be at a point where this is hurting you in some way or harming you in some way. Or I've seen people say they need to cut back on content because they want to spend more time playing games.
Yeah.
Do that too. Like, really make this the space that you need it to be. That's what it's there for.
Yep. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Yeah. So I want to talk about you were talking about how you do what makes you smile, what makes you laugh. And you succeed at that. And I would be remiss if I don't mention our good friend Adri, the Wanderer Meeple, who you and her have both collaborated on some amazing, amazing content and reels, both not together. right? Where you've had to edit your own pieces, and together because she's currently not very far from you
It's true.
geographically, right?
Yeah.
And so, Adria, we love you. And she's like, you've got to talk to Meg. And I'm like, well, I'm going to talk to Meg. I'm going to get her on the show. And so here you are. The two of you do something that I have already confessed and admitted to is y'all really are just great at embracing the silliness that this academic brain can't seem to. It's just not a skill that I've cultivated. And boy, when I try, woo, it goes horribly wrong.
Probably too dry. Too dry. Academics are just too dry.
Yeah. Yep.
I love Adri so much.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much fun together. I miss her terribly every second she's not here. And I do, I need you to understand that she gets 1,000% credit for anything we've done together. She comes up with the ideas, and I'm just like, where do you need me to stand? What do you need me to say? It's fine. I'll do
Yep.
anything. Yeah, we've just had so much fun. And I just adore our time together for sure. It's what I wish I could have with literally every friend I've ever made on the internet. Like, I wish we had both the in-person and the online experience. And so, yeah, the folks that I've gotten to connect with in person, just even in the last year, have been just really special. So I've visited Chris, who's Magic and Meeples.
Yes, love Chris.
Me too. She's
Right.
not that far. Yes, yeah. Her husband are just such a delight. And I got to visit someone when I went to Wisconsin. I missed visiting someone else you've actually interviewed too. Anyway, I'm forgetting. Everything is just falling out of my brain all of a sudden. But yes, like just those connections with people are just so special. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I've interviewed everyone.
That's true. Yes, they've definitely been on the show. Yeah.
Okay, maybe not everyone because I still got a lot to go, but yeah, definitely got. There's quite a few people, and now I'm like trying to think about like, oh my god, who did she meet?
I think I didn't get to meet Better Move Board Games.
Dana, yeah.
Dana, because I think she'd gotten a new puppy. And
that's when, yeah.
Things had gone awry.
I have not met her in real life yet. And she's only 4 hours away from me. Due north. Yeah, it's straight north. So hopefully, we'll get that together soon.
You do need to do that. Yes.
Yep.
I think that's the real joy. We get to play we get to play online together in BGA, or if we meet at conventions, which is also really special. That's how I've met a lot of people is at PAX, going to PAX Unplugged.
Which is the most inconvenient. In my opinion, it is the absolute most inconvenient convention. I don't know, the people who operate PAX, like, hey, let's have a big convention right before Christmas while everyone's traveling and spending their money, and I'm never going to go to your convention because...
well... It seems to work. It's very convenient for us because it's so close.
No, but the timing is absurd. If it were any time of year, but like right before Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing that prohibits. It's also why it'll never hit the Gen Con numbers.
Sure.
You know? It's just so inconvenient.
I don't know if I want that, right? Like, I don't know if I want that anyway.
You don't.
I don't want the Gen Con numbers, I guess.
Well, my criticism now, okay, so, all right, I criticize PAX. Here's my criticism of Gen Con. Gen Con claims still to be the best 4 days in gaming. In my opinion, only, that is absolutely incorrect.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Gen Con is the best 4 days in the gaming industry. It's not the best 4 days in gaming because there's one thing you're not going to do, and that's game.
Oh, that's so sad.
I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of gaming, but I will play more. So my wife and I went to Geekway Mini in St. Louis last weekend. Right?
Nice.
And, granted, it's like 400 people, Play and Win Games Library. We played, 27 games in 3 days?
Exactly.
I'm more likely to play 3 games in 3 days at Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're shopping or you're networking or you're play testing, which counts as playing, or you're trying to meet with all your friends in real life and get a game in, but then you don't get a game in because our schedules are just.
Okay.
Gen
Yeah.
Con is important. Gen Con is vital for the business to continue. I understand all that. But I just don't think it's the best 4 days in gaming. I think it's the
Yeah,
best four
that's fair.
days in the I think it's the best 4 days in the industry. It's more of an expo than it is a gaming convention now, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, I can see that.
Which is why Origins is becoming more popular because you
People
you
can
get it.
play. They have the library.
It's
You can do games.
balanced. It's very balanced between games library gaming, open gaming, and a vendor hall. It's a lot more balanced, and I can already hear critics in my right ear, they're like, PJ, don't say that. Yeah,
I I think PacSun. I used to go to Origins. We went every year for a bunch of years, up until I think 2019 was our last year going to Origins. And then last year was our first year going to PAX Unplugged. I cannot say anything about Origins between 2020 and
right,
2025,
sure,
or 2024 rather. I can't say anything because I did not go.
right.
But I can say that the experience I had at PAX Unplugged in 2024 was better than any year I ever went to Origins. And I think it was the vibe. So there was, I, I don't know, it's kind of tough being, and I don't want to segue too hard, but it is kind of tough being a woman in a largely male environment. And then you go to Ohio and you have some rough experiences sometimes. I'm often at a table with mostly guys, and I'm often just discounted as not even playing. Or, you know, does your husband need to take your turn for you? Like, no, shut up. I'm better than him. So, like, it can be, I've had some rough experiences, at Origins. I have only had delightful experiences at PAX. I don't know if it's a Philly thing, if it's a PAX thing. But have I've been standing in line for something and made like a new best friend, right? Like everyone is there
Yeah,
for the same purpose. And yeah, I feel like just something about the vibe. I don't know
that's
why, but
interesting.
yeah, I've just had 100% better experience for me personally. And
Sure.
again, discounting that things could have changed or been different. But yeah, I don't know.
I think Gen Con's worse. I think that because what you described, my wife always has an experience like that at Gen Con. It's the systemic sexism in our country, and since we're niche, but we're a segment of our country, that
Mhm.
systemic sexism is
It's still
you know
here.
it's not integral. It's deeply
Ingrained.
rooted. It's in a you know what I mean. It exists,
It exists.
and I
It's here.
and I feel like we should call it out. Right? Why should we call it out, PJ? Don't focus on the negative. Well, the only way to get better, right? The only way to get better is to say, hey, we're guilty of this thing, and we're going to try to turn it around.
Yeah.
That's kind of,
I have
you
a
know,
maybe a positive story to like add to that.
yeah,
When we were first collecting games, so early in like the mid aughts, right? So 2005, we're buying like a game, a paycheck. We're at a point where we're kind of able to do
sure.
that. Not a paycheck, sorry, like once a month. Once a month, we'd go out and like that's way too much. But we were able to sort of like peruse and browse. Initially, my partner was the one who was listening to all those board game podcasts. He listened to a lot of podcasts. There wasn't a lot on YouTube quite yet, and but I would look at a game on a shelf and be like, "Oh, this looks fun," and he'd be like, "Nah," and he would reject every game I suggested 100% of the time. And I finally like noticed the pattern, right? I was like, "Hey, hey, do you know you do this?" He's like, "Oh, no, I guess I didn't. I was just listening in my head to if I hadn't heard a podcaster talk about a game, it must not have value. I wasn't thinking about you as a person also have opinions of value that he does value."
Absolutely.
And yeah, but would just sort of reject my suggestions. He's learned better. He knows better.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah. So I think like we can all learn and grow.
absolutely. Absolutely, right? I mean, it's the only way for our community to thrive. and continue. We have so many obstacles in front of us right now, right? Both the industry and the community. And it's like, we don't need to create
Get more
more
people
for
in.
ourselves. Yeah,
We
right.
know
And we want
scientifically
more.
there's all of the evidence suggests that innovation comes from diversity of thought. And so, um, if we want more and different and interesting board games, the only way to do that is to make sure we have diversity in the design community so that
Yes.
it brings in that new thought. I mean, when was Dominion? Like, we haven't had a new mechanic since Dominion. Let new people in, man. There's got to be something, right? So, yeah, I think that there's really an opportunity to, yeah, just let everyone at the table and see what they have to say. But,
Absolutely.
be kind to the people around you. And just because there's a woman sitting at your table doesn't mean she won't crush you.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. Grant Lyons and I talked about it a little bit during the Content Creator
I love
Series.
that.
Yeah, he was just lovely to talk to. If you look online, right, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that, like, it seems like the content creator, the board game community is dominated by women,
Oh,
right?
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many females, female personalities, female presenting individuals.
Yeah.
Fill in
So,
the blanks there. There's so many. In fact, if you look at my guest list,
oh, yeah.
I think I think it's like 95% female guests, and I think that because that's who makes up the community. But then you get to the conventions and you
Mm,
see that it's different,
mm-hmm.
right?
That's true.
I'm not saying that they're all sexist or they're gatekeepers or whatever, but you just see there's
Yeah.
more men
Yeah.
in real life. There
And I would
must
say
be.
that maybe that's what's different about PAX is if you walk through PAX,
Mhm.
it feels diverse. It
Okay.
feels diverse from an age perspective, people pushing strollers to older folks. It feels yeah, it feels racially diverse
Hmm.
in terms of who you might see around. Or yeah, I've felt, and again, maybe I don't know if that's just Philly. I think it could be location, right? Because cities tend to be more diverse. But if you're talking about Philadelphia, the proximity of other major cities in the US to Philadelphia is also
Sure.
higher than out west, right? So I don't know. It just, yeah, there's just something
Yeah.
about it that feels special.
I suspect that we have created, and maybe because it's easier, we've created a truly safe space for a diverse community online,
Oh, good. I hope so. I hope
right?
that's true.
Because I certainly see diversity online, but I don't always see it in real life at conventions. I constantly think to myself all the time, why is there this disconnect? Like, what?
Well, that could be just financial too.
Absolutely.
If you think about the disparity, goodness, that was a
Disparity.
thank you. Thank you. If you think about the disparity of incomes and income levels, like just buy the books. If you're a white man, you make more. That's just numbers. That's not being whatever. That's just the numbers. So it could be just a financial
It
representation
could be.
to some extent.
Sure. But I always think about, so again, this is back to, okay, I never cultivated the skill for being silly. I'm academic. I'm over analytical. So when I go to a convention, I see the disconnect, right?
Yeah.
And my very first thought is, why? Why is there a disconnect? The second one is, what am I doing wrong?
What can
How
I
am
do?
I, yeah, how can I contribute to, first of all, am I contributing to this disconnect, right? Second of all, if I'm not, how can I help to make this real life diversity what I see online, right? And
Yeah.
so these are the motivating thoughts that I have
I like that.
in this podcast.
Yeah.
I think about this all the time. Um, so I don't have time to be funny because I'm too busy trying to solve the world's problems.
I am
I
as
am
like
terrible, guys. I'm the worst. I am my worst enemy.
yeah, as a human being, I am extremely motivated by tasks. That might be why I'm so into board games. Like I like having tasks. I like having things to do. I like checking things off a list. And so in terms of the world, there doesn't seem to be much more I can do other than consistently vote. Everything is beyond my skill or financial power to affect. And so I'm really gonna stay inside and be silly and play board games.
Sure.
It's very safe in here. I've got guinea pigs and hats.
Yeah.
Y'all figure it out.
Yeah. So when I figured out, could I count on your support, Meg?
Always, always, PJ. I do believe in being a voice for change, for effective change.
Yeah.
And I do believe that will continue to be learning myself. If I'm doing something that makes it harder for someone else to sit at my table, I would want to know that so that I can try and do better, do different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try and think about that with my content a little bit, like, because I know I have a world audience. I try and make sure that something could be translatable, text can be translatable, that there's captions that could be translatable. I've actually seen some content recently where people are putting up images with text on them, but I think about, like, how would someone in another country read that? There's no like auto translate on text on an image on the screen. Just little things like that how do we yeah. Again, I'm not saying I know everything or can do everything
Sure.
right by miles, but yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm with you. Whatever we need to do, however we need to make it happen, we know it makes the world better to innovate and be diverse and be inclusive. And so I'm fully on board.
Innovation and diversity. Ooh. Innovation and diversity. I
I'm
like
glad
that.
I've got some gears turning for you. That's fun.
My gears have been slow, but you just sped them up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I like my last question for you is both at the moment when you decided to become a content creator and now, right? Who inspired you? Was there anyone that you looked to that inspired you or continues to inspire you? Or is there someone new who is inspiring you at the moment when you're like, I'm not saying lately there's been a lot of content about content creators copying each other.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's more about that inspiration. I could do this thing, right? Get those gears turning, as it were.
And like, I don't know if you all have guinea pigs and want to put them with board games, y'all can do that too. Like, I don't feel like I own that, right? Like, I want, I want to see, I just like seeing board games and guinea pigs. That's my feed, right? So
Right.
whatever you all want to create to that end, I'm gonna look at it. It's fine. There's room. There's space here for all of it.
So you've heard it here, guys. From the Khaleesi of, right, because she's the guinea pig mother, or the mother of guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Right.
Take care of your guinea pigs. Make sure
Yes.
they always have access to fresh hay and water and fresh vegetables every day, but also maybe a board game or two and
Yeah.
cute hats.
See, I mean,
I'm here for it. I will
there
follow
it
you.
is. There it is. Oh my God, that's amazing. That I love that. That's incredible. Yeah. So before we go, can you want to tell everybody where they can find you if they don't already follow you on all the social things?
I am practically only on Instagram at Meg the GP Mom, and I have on occasion posted some random stuff to YouTube under the same handle. However, I largely just do not have the time for editing video. I've tried in fits and starts, and it is a lot. It is a lot. And so I'm much more likely to take a quick photo or make a quick reel than I am to do any kind of long form video. I do try to remember every once in a while to post like a short up there, but my life has a lot more going on than just board games and guinea pigs, if you can even imagine. So this is all you kind of get from me, I think. I'm sorry about that.
Nope. That's okay. That's that is the reality that we live in. And there you go. Guinea pigs and board games takes up so much of her time and it
And
gives her and hats. So yeah. Well, Meg, thank you so much for joining me.
PJ, it's been a delight. I really do
Yeah.
enjoy your discussions and hearing them.
Thank you.
And it's been so nice to actually get to meet you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
you passing me along. Can I pass on another person for you to talk to?
I mean, you absolutely
If you're
can. You can do that.
interested.
Yeah.
Because you talked at the top about, family and accessibility of families at the table. And I think Keisha with Moments Gaming together. I think it's like moments.gaming.together.
Okay.
I think she does an amazing job of cultivating content for her family from the board game community. And speaking of mostly women people for you to interview, she's just fantastic. She's who I got to meet in Wisconsin, and she's a delight as well. So
That's great. Well, yeah, I'm going to check her out and reach out to her and see if she's willing to come on the show, because
excellent.
we'll just add as many voices as we can to
It's true,
build the
exactly.
community.
Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. Come on in.
Well, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please give me comments. Like, that's the energy that I need to keep this thing going, is to hear your comments. And, whether it's you send me a private text or a DM or in the comments on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasting services, please do that. And always be kind to each other. And let's play more games.
More games, more games, more games.